What is going on, everyone? We're back again with another video. In today's video, we're going to be covering the MLB. We haven't done one of these in a little bit. Obviously, we got through March, April, and May. So it's been about, 3 months, I think, since we've covered anything. We used to do these, every month last year, cover the standings, cover what I kind of think about these squads. But let's get right into this video. Starting off with our AL division winners as it stands right now. I'm currently recording this video on May 13th. So this is how the standings are going to look right now, with the Orioles, Guardians, and Mariners leading their division. So definitely interesting between these three teams. Let's start with the Orioles. Obviously, they've been phenomenal, I think, throughout this season, last season. All their homegrown talent has absolutely shined. There's nothing but positive things to say about this Orioles squad. They completely rebuilt this franchise. Also, still got more players in the pipeline, by the way. Just thought I'd put that out there. So they just have endless talent pretty much to this team. The Guardians started off really hot. They came in through. I don't think a lot of people saw this team really up here already. They just started off hot against a lot of the bad teams, and they kind of proved why they should be up here again. So definitely cool to have Cleveland back. We'll see if they can win, because that was their problem last time they were back in the postseason. They didn't win. Now the Mariners is an interesting one. I know the AL West has been pretty weak this season, but the Mariners are an interesting team. They have struggled sometimes with this offense and the pitching sometimes, but overall, they're able to put it together. I think it's one of those average teams that we talk about on the channel pretty much a lot, and they're putting it together pretty well, and I think they do have some stars. This team's just doing like the team sport, winning and putting runs together. So love to see that in Seattle. They're winning their division by just a little bit. Our three wildcard teams are the Yankees, Twins, and Royals right now. So these three teams are also very interesting. Let's start with the New York Yankees. Obviously had a massive Soto contract, in the offseason, picked up Verdugo, picked up some other players. This team should be good. I mean, the Yankees, I thought they were going to be good last year. Did not happen. They go out and improve a lot. They get a lot better, which is definitely paying off. They're definitely going to be back in the postseason this year. We'll see how far they get in the postseason. I think I like to say, I said it in their video in the offseason, reminds me a lot of that 2016 season where they didn't make the playoffs. 2017, they come back insanely good. They probably should have went to the World Series if the Astros didn't cheat, in my opinion. I think they had definitely shot to beat the Dodgers, so you can leave that up, whoever think you'd win in that World Series in 2017, but they were just looked incredible, and I think that's the Yankee team we're seeing right now. They didn't make the postseason. They're back in 2024, looking really solid. They should be good to make the postseason. Let's go to the Twins next. The Twins are the second wildcard team right now. This team started off really slow, picked up that 11-10 game winning streak, back on pace just like that. Love to see that from Minnesota, and that's without Royce Lewis as well. He's been really solid for the Twins throughout his whole career with them. So definitely interesting when you think about it, and obviously Minnesota, I think they should be a playoff team. I'd like to say should, because their division actually pretty competitive. The AL Central is really competitive this year, which is actually something I did not expect from all these teams. So definitely interesting on that front. Number 3, we have Kansas City, which I'm glad to see them up here. They spent a ton of money in the offseason, about $105 million, plus whatever they spent on that Bobby Witt contract. So absolutely love to see that this team's up here finally winning. Obviously, they're still trying to figure out that stadium situation in Kansas City, but I love to see this team winning again. I love the Royals. I love everything about this team. So I love Bobby Witt Jr. as a player. Love some of the guys they picked up as well. Just have great attitudes on that team and great mindsets in general. So love to see this team up here. Some of the teams on the cusp, we have the Red Sox, Rangers, Tigers, Rays. That's where I'm going to put it at right there. These are the 4 teams that could probably make the postseason. Right now, probably. Obviously, the Rangers could win that division, with Seattle, so that's going to be up there. Boston's an interesting team. Same with the Rays. They're also a pretty interesting team. These are teams that, I feel like no one really expected the Red Sox to be winning this much, and they are. Their Netflix series is going to be pretty interesting. That's kind of how I look at their season. The Rangers should win the division, but they also started out pretty slow. Detroit has looked solid as well, 20-20 this season. But I did think they were going to win the division. I just didn't think the AL Central would be this competitive, which it is. So didn't expect that. And they also still have bias, so that doesn't really help them either. They should DNF him, but they won't because they're paying him too much money, but they would win if they did that. And the Rays have had a slow start, in my opinion, but they have been getting beat by some pretty good squads. So I don't know. It is what it is. Those teams should pick it up. I think the non-playoff teams, you got to look at Oakland, Toronto, Houston, the Angels, and the White Sox. Starting with the Oakland Athletics, they've played pretty well this season for what these guys are trying to do. I really like the A's motive. I'm behind this team 110%. I'm really excited for them to get to Sacramento. I'm excited for them to get to Vegas. I really like the A's initiative, and I do see the plan for this team moving forward. Like I said, 2028 World Series champions. I'm marking it down right now. Been marking it down for a while. It's going to happen. Trust me. The next 4 teams, like the Blue Jays, Astros, Angels, White Sox, have shown some hope, but in my opinion, the Angels and White Sox are not competitive teams at all. They just look horrible. Both teams could be relocation, could be new stadium, watch, all that stuff. There's been a lot of talks about both these teams in their new stadiums. So we'll see what happens with that one with the whole relocation stadium situation, because both those teams are in it and they both suck. And they're also not drawing attendance, which is another factor. Blue Jays and Astros, I think, could pick it up, but I think they got to pick it up pretty soon. Both these teams have great players. They both should be in the playoffs. They were last year. So we'll see what happens with these teams. Slow start for both of them. Struggled on the pitching side. Let's go over to the NL, where it's feel like a more clear picture than any other division or league, in my opinion. Starting off with our division winners, we have the Phillies, Dodgers, and Brewers. So pretty similar to what we had last year. Obviously the Phillies are having a great season so far. They've been a really good team. Obviously way better than the Braves so far. So we'll see what happens. They finally take the division back this year. So excited to see what happens on that front. The Dodgers are going to win their division. They're the best team. They spend like $1 billion. So yeah, I mean, I don't even have to say anything on that. This team's good. And the Brewers are back winning this division. Don't know why people thought this team would be bad. I don't understand that at all. But they lost one player and everyone was freaking out. So I don't really get that. Obviously, I think Yelich is hurt right now. But they're still a playoff team. People are weird. I didn't get that. But I think those three teams are locks for sure for the postseason, 100%. Go to our NL wild card. We have the Braves, Cubs, Padres right now. I think the Braves and Cubs are locks right now. These teams have been playing absolutely phenomenal baseball. The Braves, once again, this team is just star-studded with guys. They did just have Austin Riley go down, so maybe that's why, they could see some withdrawal from that offense, because he's been such a good player. He hasn't missed any games, really, and he's been a really good player, and so have the rest of the Braves team. So yeah, they should be locks. Obviously, the Chicago Cubs, I'm a Cubs fan before I say this, so I'll just preface that right now. They should be locks, but they have been shaky. At least when I watch their games, they've been shaking sometimes. So I'm just not confident in their bullpen. You want me to be all the way at 1,000? I think it's the bullpen for me that I'm not confident in, because every time I watch that bullpen, they be struggling against some of the bad teams. So I'm just not a fan of that. Those 5 teams should be locks, because the rest of this pans out. These teams are barely 500. Padres currently have that 6th seed right now. Once again, this team has got good prospects, but they did just get rid of Soto. They got rid of Grisham, so the outfield could be a little shaky. Obviously, they did bring in Luis Arraez, so that was a great trade for them. But I don't think that trade is going to get this a World Series team. Like I like the trade. Arraez has been a great talent. I think it's a great move. But they have been giving up a lot of prospects in that system throughout the years. That's just something they've done. Last trade deadline, they did that. Now this trade, maybe this trade deadline, they're going to do it again. But they just gave up a lot of prospects. So that's why I don't have many guys in the pipeline, because they just give them away. So that's the only problem I see with the Padres moving forward. Great team, obviously. They could definitely be in a postseason spot. Now, moving forward, a lot of these teams are horrible. I mean, we had the Mets, Nationals, which are weird teams, 19 and 20. Both teams I don't think anyone expected to be good, and they're somehow playing pretty well. So that's pretty good for both those franchises. Next, we have the Diamondbacks, Giants. The Diamondbacks have been kind of shaky this season. They haven't been really playing like their previous team self. Obviously, they only won 85 games last year, so take that into accountability. The Giants, once again, have picked up some pretty solid talent, but also been struggling a little bit on that side. So we'll see where these teams land. They should improve. I'd like to see with this warmer weather, they should improve, especially the Giants. Now, the teams that won't improve for sure are the Pirates, Reds, Cardinals. Now, these teams in the NL Central are really weird. Obviously, we just had Paul Skeens called up for the Pirates. Not going to shake the needle, I think, for them to be a postseason team at all. They still need a couple more talent. We need Henry Davis back up there. We need a couple more picks, I think, for this team to be good. But they're definitely on the right track, the Pirates. The Reds are interesting. Kind of a slow start. We thought this team should be in the playoffs last year. I thought this team was going to be in playoffs this year. Slow start. They got to pick it up, though, if they want a playoff spot. I think they can pick it up, so I won't rule them out entirely, but they got to start doing it quick, I think, because they got to jump a lot of squads. St. Louis, I don't know why people thought this team was going to be good. They all have aging players, and their rookies are the only ones that have been really playing well, in my opinion. So, yeah, I don't really know what's going on with this team. Obviously, they have a good pitching core, a little bit, so it's interesting over there. And they got a couple good pitchers in the bullpen, a couple good pitchers in the rotation. But overall, I mean, they're not a posted team. I don't know why people thought they were a posted team. It's not a fluke. You're just horrible. It's simple as that. Next 2 teams, we got the blow it up bowl between the Rockies and the Marlins. Marlins already thrown the towel. We know they're not making the postseason again. The Rockies are never making the postseason again. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes on those teams. But they absolutely got to blow it up on those squads. Blow it up. So that's where we stand in the MLB right now. And I think a lot of these teams are definitely going to tell a lot of time between now and the All-Star break. Is definitely going to see a lot of things happen. We obviously got that trade deadline coming up right after the All-Star break. It's definitely going to be a pivotal month of May and June to figure out where these teams stand, because right now there's a lot of squads. We really don't know where they stand. It's a lot of those teams in the middle, especially in the NL. We just have no idea where these teams are at. and how they match up compared to their competition. Where I feel like the AL is a little bit more clear defined on who's in, who's out. Definitely been an interesting season so far with the jerseys, the pants dilemma we've had, these terrible city connects that I think are coming out, and then that all these teams are just improving a lot. So definitely been a fun season to watch so far. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.